Okay, so now I've got some of the little bit more delicate questions for you.
Sure.
Sometimes when I sneeze, I kind of leak a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I mean, it's not that I need to pee or that I really have a full bladder. It's just, and you know, I mean, sometimes if I like cough or sneeze, I like, you know, do a Kegel, then but you know, it's embarrassing. I don't like.
Yes, I know.
I don't like leaking.
I understand. It's embarrassing. It's uncomfortable. It comes whenever you least expect it sometimes, and it's very common, Sandy, but it's not normal. And it doesn't matter how old we are. It doesn't matter if you've had 8 children. Leaking is really not normal, but it is very common. We can help those symptoms, again, by some of the inner core and pelvic floor exercises we're doing. So why you're leaking is because what happens, so I'm going to explain how that works. When you take a breath, or you cough, or you lift something up heavy, or you laugh, or you sneeze, what's happening is the diaphragm is pushing on the internal contents of your abdomen, which are your guts and your organs, bladder, bowel, uterus, okay? So the diaphragm presses down on the organs. The organs don't have a place to go. It's kind of like holding a baggie with water in it. The baggie is zipped, and you squeeze the water at one end of the baggie, and the water goes somewhere, right? You squeeze the other end of the baggie, and the water is pushed somewhere else. Mm-hmm. That's just like inside of you, the inner contents. When the pressure is displaced, it must go somewhere. Now, the reason that there is some leaking is because there's some dysfunction as far as the pelvic floor muscles are concerned. And it's very important to understand that there are 3 layers of muscle in the pelvic floor. So they all work together. So very possible that that innermost layer is not working at all, because that's the strongest and most supportive. So oftentimes after we've had children or an injury, that innermost layer turns completely off and it stops participating. That's the brain's way of telling you not to move until you heal everything optimally. So here the innermost layer is turned off. That's the strongest, most supportive. And then the outside layer is the Kegel layer. And they're the little ribbon, small type of a muscle. It's very fast twitch. It's not very strong. It doesn't last for a long time. It's not meant to hold everything up. It's not one of those postural muscles like the innermost layer of the pelvic floor. So what's happening is that when we're laughing, coughing, sneezing, all that pressure is pushing down on that layer of the pelvic floor. So if the innermost layer doesn't have the trampoline effect, and it's not tone and it's not responding, that pressure has to go somewhere. So, since the Kegel's not strong enough to hold all of that pressure, that's why we leak. So what we must do is actually access the innermost layer, wake it up. That layer is trained best by imagery and intention. That's how we access that. It's via the nervous system, by image, brain training, that sort of thing. So that's the most important layer that we're going to be working on to help with that. Now, when you cough, laugh, or sneeze, you have the strongest layer supporting, and it's also acting as this little trampoline to where everything is moving together, as well as stabilizing your spine. So,
so the more that I strengthen that inner core,
pelvic floor,
then I won't leak. Won't leak.
It will take care of those symptoms more than, in a big way. Now, what we're doing is we're trying to hold everything up with the Kegel muscle, and it's just not meant to do that. Kegels, again, that muscle down there is meant for sexuality, restroom, the flow, that sort of thing, and it's not meant for the actually holding everything up. So yes, we address that innermost layer the way we're doing it, trying to access it, and let the outside layer take a little break, because the outside layer is trying to do everything. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
But it's not an instant solution, huh?
No, the instant ones would probably be other, but we're not going to
Yeah,
go there.
right.
We're not, we're not. There's no drugs or surgery here, so let's just stick with
No magic. No
our.
magic bullet.
We have self-healing mechanisms within our bodies, so it's my pleasure to be able to teach her how to access those natural things that our body's meant to do anyway. Okay,
Thanks.
cheers.